folks, update time again. So I want to make a correction. When I was talking about the shed at the new place, I described it as kind of like a lean-to type of shed with a loft. It does not have a loft. The reason I thought it had a loft is because I saw it from inside. There's a door from the bottom apartment that goes out to it, and we never actually went into it. We just looked at it from that doorway, and it's probably 6-7 feet wide. And then there's a wall, and the top of the wall was open. It made it look like there was a loft. There's no loft. So that's okay. That doesn't affect anything at all. So, I keep wanting to correct that, and I kept forgetting about it. So, so a few days ago, fire department got a call for a barn fire, and it turned out it was a shed fire. What did they say, 20 by 30 or something like that? It was a small shed anyways. So I heard that, and I first rode out of town. I know exactly where they're going to be refilling the truck, so I figured, okay, I can go get me some video of that. So I went down to the dollar stop down here, which is where they normally refill, and waited, and it turned out they were filling at the river, close to where they were. But I stuck around because they usually have more than one fill site, so 2 or 3 trucks show up at one, then they'll go somewhere else, right? So I figured there's still a chance. And that's what they did, just not where I was sitting. They went up to the complex instead. So, okay, so I repositioned. I get video of one truck filling, and then I went over to Esso, so I'm closer. I can actually get the trucks coming in and going out. And not long after that, I heard them say fire under control. So I gave up and went back home. I got one truck. I can't even include that, right? It's for one truck. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, but got me out of bed anyways. I wasn't even planning on going out that day, and I didn't even do a tour after that. I just went back home, did a little bit of shopping, I think, and then went back home. But what's interesting, or confusing for me anyways, is when I'm sitting at Esso, I got the camera pointed towards where the truck's going to be filling, and all of a sudden I see this leaf blow across the front of me. It was pretty windy that day. I thought it was a leaf. It turned out to be a bat, and he stayed in front of me long enough. I'll be able to see it on the video. I've never seen a bat out in the daytime. Like, it was before noon, I think. What the heck was that? Pretty sure it was before noon. And this bat just fluttering around me. I've never seen a bat in a daytime like that. Evening, you know, just before the sun comes down, yeah, but not in the middle of the day. That was really, really weird. So, I'm not in a good mood right now. I lost another hard drive. This one had YouTube videos on it. I'm not sure how many. I haven't done I'm still recreating my database, the new setup that I created, and it's taking a while. I was getting there. I'm working on videos from 2022, and I was transferring videos to this hard drive, and all of a sudden everything just stopped. Very little would work in my computer. Everything was frozen up, or it took a long time. I wasn't sure what was happening. So I was just going to bed. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just about to go to bed at that time. That's what I was doing. That's transferring those files to the hard drive so they'll complete while I'm asleep. And I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I had to restart my computer. Started it up, and all my hard drive showed up, except, well, it showed up, but just the drive. I think it said local drive or something like that. The title of the drive never showed up. It just said local drive and drive W, which is what it was. And I'm thinking, oh no. So I tracked it down. It's another SSD drive. I won't buy those anymore. I don't like them. I don't trust them. So I unplugged it, hoping it just went into thermal shutdown, and I'll let it cool down and it'll work again, right? So next morning I plugged it in. It's still not working. So not everything on that drive was registered in the database yet, because it hadn't been processed. I was still putting files on it, and the files that were registered, I searched for anything with W:/ and I'll bring up anything that's on that hard drive that's registered, because the video's location is registered into a file that's in my database. So by doing that, the files that were registered were almost 16,000. That's just what was registered. There was a lot more on, and I'm guessing I probably lost, I don't remember what size the hard drive was, but I'm guessing I lost probably about 60,000 files. So the last directory cataloging that I do that every once in a while, so I know what's on each disk in case something happens. I haven't done it for a while, and the last one I did apparently was a while ago. I've got all the files that were there at that time. Things have been moved around since, but I've got all the YouTube titles. I've downloaded quite a bit already. Most of them are still online, but obviously YouTube removes stuff. There are, probably for every 1,000 that I'm finding, there's about 6 or 7 that are no longer online. So that's not too bad, but a lot of the ones that are no longer online or have been made private for some reason, they were important files, important videos, right? And there's channels that are no longer on YouTube. I won't be able to get those. And there's some, because I've got the title of the video, I know what it is, right? There's some that don't even make sense why they were removed. Like there's some Fox News file videos that were removed, and they're not political. They're not against one side or the other. I don't see a reason why they would have been removed, but they're gone, right? So it's weird. And other channels too, it's like, why would you make that private? Some just don't make sense. But anyways, I'm getting a lot of them back, but it's going to take a long time. Like I say, I don't even know what all I lost. So I gotta go back. At one point, I was doing it every month. I was cataloging my hard drives every month, just in case something happens, right? Because hard drives don't always let you know that they're going to fail. So I might go back to that again every month, update. But I'm not in a good mood right now, anyways. So I'm very busy right now. I sit down at the dam for at least 2 hours every day, packing things up, getting ready to move, and at the same time I still have to deal with normal life, everyday life, right? So I'm really, really busy, and I don't have time right now to get to my comments on my videos. I'd like to. There's just so much else. If I had a laptop, I could do it while I'm sitting at the dam. I would love to have something to do because I'm sitting there, I'm doing absolutely nothing, right? I don't have to watch what they're doing. I just have to record it. But I just don't have time for everything right now, and I've been getting comments I wanna reply to, but I don't have the time. So one thing I want to talk, somebody asked about the scanner, saying maybe it's a low battery warning. No, it's not that. There's 2 reasons I know that. One, because it's random. Actually 3 reasons, because these are always charged. They're always on their base unless I go out. And they'll last 8 or more hours before I get low battery notice. But the beeping is random. It barely does it. It's just every once in a while. I've noticed if I get static, it'll do it right after the static. Something when I first turn the monster on before I go out, it'll do it a couple times. There's no pattern to it whatsoever. It's totally random. I can go for probably a couple hours and not hear it, and then all of a sudden I'll hear it a whole bunch all at once, and then it'll be quiet for another hour. It makes no sense. But that's two of the reasons I know it's not the low battery warning. And the third reason is it actually speaks. It'll tell me the battery. It's low voltage, like every 5-10 seconds. Low voltage. It's really annoying, believe me. So that's not the issue. I don't know what it is. It makes no sense to me. But making more progress down at the dam. Yesterday they brought in a trailer load of these giant sandbags. They look, I call them marshmallows. They look like the hay bales with the white plastic wrapped around them. They're about the same size, but they get two big handles on the top. And they started bringing those in. I know what that's for. That's for diverting the river when they start working on the other side. So that's kind of interesting. I got up there and they weren't doing anything specific down at the dam itself. All the action was up on the hill, so I went over to the park to watch. And you get their forklift, and they lift them off the trailer and then take them down. And excavator was kind of moving them off to the side. And he was doing it the easy way. He was using the teeth on the scoop to pick them up. But, you get this big wide bag of sand, and you got a handle on each side to pick it up with those teeth. They're not very long. They're like 8 inches, 10 inches long. Yeah, that's squishing the handles together, so it's putting stress on the bag, and one of them ripped open and just went everywhere. So that ended that. He started using the chain after that, which meant he had to get out, attach the chain, and then somebody else had to detach the chain once he gets it in place, so it took a little bit longer. But that was kind of, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. So that was kind of interesting, watching that. And I went down today. I could not get up this morning, no matter what I did. I just could not wake up. And fire department got a call this morning for a horse that had jumped over the fence and was stuck in the mud, apparently up to its neck. That's not nice. But I went back to sleep. The cat woke me up a little while later. I went back to sleep. I could not wake up at all. So I got there about just before 3 o'clock. I figured, well, they'll give me a couple hours because they'll work till 5. And I noticed they have probably 4 times as many sandbags down there now, so they've had more come in. But I got to watch them. They're chopping up the concrete that's underground right now, under where the bridge was standing. And and the other one was scooping stuff up and taking it out in dump trucks. And about 4 o'clock, they both went up to the road. So I figured, okay, they're either ending early today, or that's all they're going to do on that, and they're going to do another stuff. So I got just a little more than an hour worth of video today, which kind of sucked. So I went for a nice long drive out of town, back down at the dam, took a break, and then I came home after doing some shopping. And I came back home. But the interesting thing is, while I'm sitting there, a lot of people show up. Like, nobody stays there the whole time. Nobody's doing video or anything. I'm still the only one doing that. But where I'm sitting right now is all open grass area, and people pull up beside me and start talking to me. A lot of times it's the same people every day. And other people they'll come in, they'll watch for a little bit and leave, and they won't say a single word to me. But I had a lot of people telling me stories about this dam and the history of Wingham and that. It's really quite interesting. People that have lived here all their lives, right? They're more sad to see the dam go than me. Like, it's a part of history. And there's one guy that talks to me. He helped build. He used to work for a construction company. He helped build the other bridge, the one where I cross over the river. He helped build that one, the Hannah Bridge. It's kind of interesting. And apparently across the dam, from where I sit, kind of kitty corner, I guess, the upstream side of it on the other side, there used to be a mill up there on the hill. And apparently, if I remember correctly, it burnt down or something. That was before I was even born. So Wingham's been here a while. And I met up with a guy who grew up in Gorey. He lives here now. And actually, that's the guy that helped build the bridge. He grew up in Gorey. Apparently, Gorey used to have a bank, used to have a restaurant, used to have a gas station. I think there was something else. I don't remember what he said now. So Gorey's going backwards. They're losing stuff. And Wingham's getting bigger. It's just crazy, crazy times, I guess. So I don't know what else to say. I just kind of wanted to talk about those. I did try to get video last week. Every once in a while I'll get up, like every hour or so I'll get up and walk around, just get some motion in my legs, because I get really, really stiff if I sit too long. And I walked down to the river. This is when I was parked at the park. I went down the river and stood there and just kind of had a smoke and just looked at the wildlife. So I tried to get a video. There was a heron over by the dam. Their machines didn't seem to bother it at all. And then closer to me, got that log in the river where the turtles sit on top of it, soaking up the sunshine. There was a bunch of turtles on it. And then just to my right at the edge of the water, there's a frog sticking his head out the surface. So I wanted to do a panning shot. I started with the heron and come back to the turtles and then over to this frog. I tried. Unfortunately, the camera's nice and steady right now because I'm resting my arm on the arm, or my elbow on the armrest, and my hand is on the handlebars here. So there's no motion in the camera. Well, there's a little bit, but there's no motion. Well, I tried to do that handheld, and it was really shaky, and it looked horrible. And because of my blurry vision, on this tiny little screen here, I couldn't find the turtles. It just looked horrible. I'll show it anyways, but it didn't. It looked better in my head before I did it. Put it that way. So I consider that a fail, but at least it's there, right? I guess that's all I got. Can't think of anything else. It's like super humid today. It's not hot. It's like, well, it's 24 when I went out. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's really, really humid, and I'm sweating pretty good at the moment. So I guess I'm done. Go in and do some more work.